Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're jumping straight into a big one, safe clinical delegation.
A huge one.
If you're prepping for any kind of professional judgment assessment, this is pretty much the shortcut you need, all based on your sources.
That's right. And it's listed as moderate difficulty, but I'd say it's absolutely foundational. It's good medical practice 101. The sources are so clear on this.
So our mission today then is to really pull out that core principle. How do you delegate safely, efficiently, but without losing accountability? Because this isn't just about, getting rid of boring jobs.
Not at all. It's about patient safety. It's about team efficacy. And the sources, they almost give you a formula for it. The exam mindset is basically right task, right person, clear brief, supervised, check back, and crucially, you stay accountable.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start right at the beginning. What exactly is delegation in this context? Because, it can sound a bit like just bossing people around.
Yeah, it's more nuanced than that. At its core, it's about transferring a clearly defined task to someone who is competent to do it with the right supervision.
Right.
But, and this is the bit the sources hammer home again and again, you, the person delegating, you keep the overall responsibility for that patient's care.
And that's the scary part, isn't it?
It is.
The other person does the task, but if something goes wrong with the patient, it's still on me.
It's still on you. The delegate is responsible for doing the task properly, but you own the outcome. And that's why the sources are so insistent on this 5 rights framework.
The 5 right.
Right task, right circumstances, right person, right communication, and right supervision.
And if you fail on even one of those,
you've put the patient at risk. And you've failed that accountability test.
But hold on, isn't using a 5-part framework plus all these other steps going to make a 30-second job take 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Where's the efficiency in that?
That's a great question, and the sources are quite direct about this. The efficiency gain isn't in the time you spend delegating. It's in preventing the chaos that comes from mistakes.
I see.
Spending 30 seconds now to be crystal clear saves you 30 minutes later dealing with a deteriorating patient because the nurse didn't know when to call you. It's proactive risk management.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the high-yield stuff, the how-to. The sources give us a really clear 6-step process.
A kind of clinical cheat sheet.
Exactly.
Okay.
So step 1, assess and select. This is more than just grabbing whoever's free.
Oh, much more. You're looking at the task. Is it urgent? Is it complex? What's the risk to the patient?
Okay.
Then you look at the person. Do they have the skills? Is it in their scope of practice? And crucially, do they have the capacity right now? You have to actually ask them, are you comfortable taking this on?
And you can't push them if they say no.
Never. That's a foundational safety rule. Never delegate beyond confirmed competence.
Okay. Step 2 is briefing with structure. Now, I'll admit, when I'm busy, I've definitely just said, can you go check on Mrs. K? The sources say use SBR. Why is that so important?
Because your colleague might know a background, but they don't know what's in your head, your specific assessment, your specific request. SBR forces you to be clear. What is the task? Why are we doing it? When does it need to be done by? And, most importantly, what are the red flags and how do you escalate?
It gets rid of all the dangerous assumptions.
All of them.
Which brings us to step 3, setting safety thresholds. This is the core of supervision, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is where you define the safety net. You have to be explicit about when they need to call you.
All right. So let's make this really concrete. I could use a model phrase here. Instead of monitor the patient, I'd say something like, could you do hourly OBS on Mrs. K in bed 5 until 2 o'clock?
Perfect.
And if her new WS2 score hits 5 or more, or if that lactate comes back above 2, please bleep me immediately on 1, 2, 3.
Yes. That is perfect. It defines the task, the time, the trigger, and the action. There is zero ambiguity there.
Okay, so then step 4 is confirming understanding, the check back. We're all guilty of rushing off, but the sources say this is non-negotiable.
It is mandatory. It's about demonstrating shared accountability. You just ask, just to check, can you quickly repeat the plan back to me, especially when you'll call me?
It closes that communication loop.
Precisely. It proves the information has landed safely.
And finally, steps 5 and 6. Follow-up and documentation. What does tying it off actually mean?
It means you go back, you confirm the task is done, you review the results yourself properly, not just a glance, and you give feedback.
And you write it down.
And you write it down. You document the instructions, the supervision agreed, and the outcome. If it's not in the notes, it didn't happen, your accountability trail is gone.
Okay, now for the really interesting bit. Where do people who mean well mess this up? The sources talk about these traps that cause you to lose marks.
All right, this is where theory meets reality. Let's start with the vague trap. Why is saying just keep an eye on them so bad?
Because it's useless. It has no thresholds, no timeline, no supervision plan. It gives the other person no idea what bad even looks like.
Exactly. It's an abdication of your responsibility, to be clear. Then you have the real point killer, the safety trap.
This is when you delegate something that's just too advanced for the person.
Yes. Like asking a brand new first-year doctor to get complex consent for high-risk surgery or to break bad news. The sources are so strict on this, you can only delegate those things if the person is confirmed as competent for that specific task. Otherwise, you do it, or you're right there with them.
You're protecting the patient, but also your junior colleague.
You're protecting both of them.
Okay, this next one feels counterintuitive. The hero trap. I'll just do everything myself. Why is that a bad thing?
Because it's so dangerous. We all feel that urge, to be conscientious and just get it all done.
Right.
But if you're trying to clerk a new patient, chase a critical potassium of 6.7 and talk to radiology. You create an unsafe delay for everyone. That potassium needs dealing with now, not when you eventually get around to it.
So you're sacrificing the team's overall safety for your own individual effort. It shows poor management.
Poor time management and poor use of your team. And that brings us to the red flags, the things you have to intervene on immediately.
Like that critical potassium being left unassigned.
Exactly. Or seeing a task delegated way beyond someone's competence. A critical result just sitting there, unmanaged. That is a massive safety failure.
Okay, so there's a lot to remember there. Let's give people a tool for when they're under pressure. A memory hook.
The one the sources recommend is simple. It's ACEIT. It basically squashes those 6 steps down into 5 quick checks.
Okay, let's hear it. A.
Ask competence.
C.
Clarify brief.
E must be.
Escalation plan.
Is.
Invite the repeat back.
And T.
Tie it off. Review and record. ACEIT. It's fast, and it covers everything.
That's good. I like that. Before we wrap up, there's a big question we have to tackle.
Oh.
What do you do if your colleague says no? If they refuse the task?
Yeah, this is high stakes. The first thing is you do not force them, ever. The highest scoring action is to pause and explore why.
Find out if it's about workload or if they genuinely feel they aren't competent?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If it's workload, you help them or you reassign it. If it's competence, you either do it yourself or you support and teach them, but only if it's safe for the patient to do so.
So you use that model phrase, something like, thanks for letting me know. If you're not comfortable, let's talk. I can reassign it or I can come and help you with it.
Perfect. It's respectful and it keeps the patient safe.
So let's boil all this down. If you're in one of these high-stakes scenarios, what are the 3 key takeaways from the sources we've looked at today?
Okay, first, competence comes first. It has to be the right task for the right person at the right time. That initial assessment is everything.
Second, always use a structured brief. Something like SBR. It needs deadlines, red flags, and a clear escalation route. Clarity is safety.
And third, you have to close the loop. Review the outcome, document it, and never forget that the ultimate accountability for that patient's care, it stays with you.
We mentioned that good delegation prevents burnout, and that if a colleague pushes back, you have to explore why. That brings up a really interesting final thought for you to consider. If unsafe delegation is often a symptom of systemic issues, like understaffing, when does your responsibility shift from just reassigning a single task to escalating the wider staffing problem itself?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? When does "I'll just reassign this" become "I need to formally report this system failure to management"? The sources suggest that a pattern of failures or refusals is a clear trigger for escalating. That's the ultimate test of leadership.
Something to think about. That wraps up our deep dive into safe delegation and GMC accountability. Keep prioritizing clarity and competence, and we'll catch you next time.